This time, Backroads is heading to northwest Victoria. We're taking a road trip that begins in the heart of the Mallee. Mallee country is a place of contradictions. The hottest and driest region in the state, it can be strikingly beautiful. A harsh landscape that can deliver great bounty.
The grain that's grown here is some of the best that's grown anywhere in Australia.
And abundant heartache. It was the state's last agricultural frontier because the Mallee eucalypt scrub was so hard to clear. Water was channelled in, and for a while, farms flourished. But hard times followed. Everything from devastating droughts to epic dust storms.
I can remember as a kid sweeping down the windowsills and shoveling it out from the back door.
They're a tough breed in the Mallee, so they set about the work of recovering with better land management and a pipeline to radically cut water loss.
It's the most important thing that's happened to this community probably since power come through, I'd say.
Over time, the people of the Mallee have wrestled a living from the land and learned to work in harmony with it. And they're determined to create a future for their children. I'm going to find out how. I'm starting out in the town of Ewart. And I'm here to uncover a remarkable story about what this little town has achieved.
All done, Huggy. She's right to go, mate. Pull away.
Spot Munro's family has been growing crops here in the Mallee for over a century.
Anywhere you want to put it, Dave.
Right now, he's working on a different kind of project. G'day, Spot.
Howdy, how are you?
Good. What's going on here?
We're just having a bit of a working bee to put a bit of dirt at the end of our lake here that we built a couple of years ago.
And what a lake it is.
Yeah, it's come up absolutely brilliant.
It's the last thing you'd expect to find in such a dry landscape. And this water sport haven wasn't always here. When the pipeline replaced reservoirs about 20 years ago, Mallee water lovers were left with nowhere to play. It took decades of planning and lobbying by the locals to get recreational lakes back. And that dream was finally realised in Ewart in 2018. They've been adding to it ever since. So this is what you do in Ewart, is it? Just get up and build a lake yourself or anything else?
Yeah, the community's got a real proud history of actually doing stuff themselves. The golf club, the football club, they build all their own club rooms. So we've got plenty of fish out here in the lake. But why don't we get in the boat and go and have a fish and just see what it's like first hand?
Sounds good to me. I'm no fisherman, though.
Oh, I'm not either, but we'll give it a crack anyway. Just give it a little flick every now and then like that. Look like we're professionals.
Not a bad life, this Spot.
No, it's very nice. There's nothing wrong sitting in the boat having a little fish. It's good.
It must have made such a difference to this town and community when you got this lake.
Oh, I think it has, yeah. I mean, the amount of people are up here walking and exercising, up here canoeing, standing in the water fishing for 5 and 6 hours on end. So it'd have to make a big difference to people's well-being and their mental health and just how they feel. I mean, it's not until you haven't got it that you actually realise how important it is.
And what's your real motivation for all of this? What do you hope for?
We need a place where if kids want to return to this community or if you know, my young fella on the farm wants to bring a partner home and wants to come home, we need to have a really, really vibrant community for them to come home to. So it's really important. I mean, it's future generations that will actually drive this community into a really strong position, and it's up to us to set the foundations. Oh, hello. Oh,
you got a fish?
I missed him. No, I haven't. He's only a little baby.
But at least you got one.
Anyway, there, Rex.
Back he goes.
Off you go, mate.
Hey, I reckon I caught something.
You have got some weed on there, but there's a fish underneath it. We've got one. We'll get him unhooked for you.
Put him back in.
This one's actually a little silver, so a little kiss and he goes back in as well. There we go, little silver. We've actually nailed that.
I'm discovering they're a resourceful lot in Oyen, and they've had to be. As the tough Mallee scrub was pushed back to allow grazing and grain on the dry lands, the town grew. But it was hard won.
Well, no, not yet.
One resident has been here almost as long as his town.
So this is it, Bert?
This is it.
It's a whopper.
Yes, there's nearly 10 tonne in that stump.
In his 87 years in the Mallee, Bert Holland has done pretty much every job going. From Shire President to earthworks. About 30 years ago, he was clearing trees for a road when he turned up the mother of all Mallee routes.
When we decided to run the Mallee Route Festival, they said, you know, we want to have a competition and see who's got the biggest stump. But it took me about nearly 3/4 of an hour to fill the hole in after I'd dug it out.
Well, it's the biggest one I've ever seen.
We had stumps carted in from everywhere, but there was none compared in size to this one.
If you wanted to grow wheat around here or have big farms, you had to clear all the Mallee
you had
routes.
to. There was no doubt about that. Big wood yards in Melbourne used to buy the stumps because, you know, there could be 10 or 15 rail trucks and there'd be all Mallee routes.
I can remember that. Everyone used to say Mallee routes were the best firewood.
Oh, yes, that's for sure. The money they got for the stumps, that helped pay for the clearing and helped the farmers, you know, until they started to grow wheat.
But the old farming practices led to severe soil erosion. In the 1980s, a towering dust storm even engulfed Melbourne in Mallee dust.
We had that much soil erosion, it'd blow the soil up against the farmer's fence. And it'd just build up, and sheep would just walk over and...
So you would have seen a lot of changes
Yes,
over the years.
have. Especially in the farming methods.
Better land management is making life easier in the Mallee. But Bert says its people haven't forgotten their roots.
Because everyone knew what hardship was like. Everyone was there to help one another. And that spirit's gone on right through. And the work ethic, I think, was the backbone of the Mallee.
And that legacy continues. From community working bees to competitions. Only in the Mallee could you find a root-throwing contest.
Now, Melissa, I hear around the traps that you are a champion Mallee root tosser. Is this true?
Yes, for the open ladies. Yeah, I got in there and had a go and ended up being about 30 centimetres off the world record. So I threw 6.6 metres and the world record's 6.96.
Oh, you're not far off.
No.
Melissa tells me competition weight is 9 kilos.
I'm going to get nowhere with this, but I'll give it a go.
That's what everyone does in the Mallee, gives it a go.
Righto.
Like
Half
that.
your distance. I might just need to keep on practising, do you think?
While the Mallee can be harsh, just like the tough roots it's famous for, I I can see the locals have found ways to adapt to the place they love. "45 minutes down the road is Chinkapuk. Though the once busy town has dwindled in population, it's still a wheat-growing area. And it still holds the hearts of the locals, including artist Robbie Wirramanda. He shares stories through his work.
This is a story about Walpa Winnica, the mob that would burn country. And you come back next season and it's all brand new again.
Robbie and his wife Jackie use their art to help keep memories alive. Like so many others, their people were moved to Aboriginal missions and culture was lost.
Our families were there together at Ebenezer Mission, actually, so...
Oh, wow. What an amazing old photograph.
My family members were from here. They were rounded up from here. The little girl that's blurry that moved on the end, that's my great-grandmother, Nellie Pepper.
Now they're setting up an art gallery and studio.
We're really fortunate to have the knowledge and the connection to country that we have, and there's no way we're going to let it die with our generation. You know, and we're happy to see that our kids have taken up art and, you know, the connection to country and culture as well.
Robbie grew up hunting with his family and learning stories at a very special place not far from town. Lake Tyrrell is breathtaking. Even with no water at this time of year, the ancient salt lake constantly changes to reflect the colours of the sky. And it's a regular theme in the Wirramanda's artwork.
That is stunning.
Like this one by Jackie.
This is such a beautiful, beautiful painting.
Thank you.
What's it called?
Tyrrell, a place where the earth meets the sky. That's our people's name for Lake Tyrrell.
Robbie's art has been installed on the lake as well.
It's a pretty powerful thing knowing that your old people walked on this same ground that we're sitting on now. It's important to put all our stories into some form of artwork.
And they're making sure they pass that on to their children.
I wasn't switched on to understand the wealth that I had being handed to me. They do. Yeah, they've already got it.
What do you feel he's taught you about your culture?
There's the cultural side, the stories, everything like that, but then there's like the hunting and, you know, everything. Like, yeah, he really gives you a full rundown of everything. Yeah.
I'd love to pass them down when I have my kids. Finally teach them what my dad taught me.
When you stand out here under these enormous skies, you can really feel the power and the pull of this place and understand why Robbie and Jackie and their kids feel so connected to it.
My next stop is the town of Sea Lake, at the other end of the lake, where a viewing platform welcomes others who feel drawn here. While that's been a huge boost for the town of Sea Lake, the main industry is still farming. And those skills are being passed on to the kids here. Tyrrell College is 4 hours from Melbourne. It may be small,
Can anybody tell me anything about...
but it's doing extraordinary things.
So what does that mean?
So the seed and the fertiliser don't lay in the same track and burn each other out.
Yep, so it packs the soil around the seed.
John Wright teaches agriculture.
So we're lifting the grain up, yep, put it into off, and away we go.
So, John, this is a very different sort of classroom.
Yeah, it is. It's good to get outside, and the kids really enjoy the hands-on aspect. They get to come out and work with the machinery as opposed to just looking at books in the classroom. Showing them what is available out there and opening their eyes up to the different industries in agriculture, and hopefully some of these students will be able to come back and bring a whole range of new skills back into the agricultural industry. And that strengthens our communities.
And more than 40 local groups have stepped up to help, including the town's machinery dealership. It lends them a brand new tractor, complete with all the latest equipment, every year.
It's that old saying about, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, and I think our community is doing that, and they're doing it for all kids. You know, not everyone gets an opportunity to be born or live on a farm, so our kids are getting them through the generosity of these businesses and family farms, I suppose.
And that's helping these young farmers learn how to work with the land.
Agriculture provides a lot of opportunities in the future.
These are lifelong skills that I'll use most days. Yeah, it's bloody good.
I'm learning about ag and all my interests, and then I can go back on the farm and apply them.
They're getting business skills too. And profits from the school crops are invested back into the course and the students. And that's really paying off.
Our kids seem to have those employability skills that employers are chasing.
You must be pretty proud of that. And the school's last Year 12 results rated amongst the best in the state. However, it hasn't been all good news for the close-knit community of Sea Lake. In November 2020, the tragic death of their popular policeman devastated the town. Leading Senior Constable Dennis Cox was hit by a car while cycling.
He was a really good dad. He was into all of our sports.
His 17-year-old daughter, Hannah, was just about to sit her Year 11 exams.
And in his photo, you can't see it that well, but he would drive past the little kids and go like this, or the thumbs up, and put the sirens on for them because they loved it. They always called him a legend.
Teenage sweethearts Dennis and Selena were born and bred in Sea Lake and went away to study and work. But Dennis wanted to run a one-man police station. And he wanted to do it here, in his hometown.
Dennis lived and breathed for this community, and there is a lot of things that are coming out that he did behind the scenes, like these letters that he used to write to the kids at school.
How special is that?
Yeah.
So can you read some of them out for me?
This is one of them. It says, "To Dennis, how many robbers have you catched in COVID from Jasper?"
Jasper was right onto him.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Dennis used to return letters to Jasper, and this was the last one. It was, "To Jasper, everybody has been behaving themselves. I haven't had to catch any robbers lately, but when I do, I will let you know."
Why do you think he felt the need to do that?
Oh, I think it's he likes kids to feel safe.
And also have them not worrying about robbers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Victoria Police thought this was such a great idea, they're planning to roll it out to other stations as a tribute to Dennis.
You must feel very proud about the legacy that your husband and your dad have left here in Sea Lake, are you?
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing what he's done and accomplished over his lifetime, yeah.
I can see why Dennis and Selena wanted to bring up their family out here, in this dry yet majestic landscape. This is a community you can count on. As I've travelled through the Mallee, I've been captivated by its ever-changing colours. So it seems perfect to end my journey in rainbow. The town's farming history is reflected in the shops and buildings lining the main street, and in its people. I've been told Marg Crelly is one of the true Mallee characters I've got to meet.
And what a gorgeous garden.
Thank
Great
you.
old place.
It's wonderful now that we've got the pipeline. It's just fantastic.
Now you can have a beautiful garden.
Oh, it's like an oasis for us.
And this looks a pretty old place that you're on, Marg.
It is, Heather.
I'm surprised to learn Marg has another hidden talent. Apart from being a keen gardener, she's also a wild dog trapper.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Wild dogs are devastating to livestock. In the Mallee, they kill hundreds of sheep every year.
You're a dog trapper. How did that come about?
My father had done it, my grandfather had done it prior to that, and I was always Dad's apprentice.
What do you remember about those days?
I think the worst I ever can remember as a 16-year-old, we were looking after a family friend's place and we walked to check the sheep, and the dog had been in and killed and maimed over 120 sheep.
What a shocker.
It was terrible. That really still plays in my mind. Jack!
Do you like being a dog trapper?
Jack! I don't. Come on. They're a beautiful animal. But if it was our dog coming in and killing sheep, there's no questions asked. We should put them down. Out you go with your bread. Good boy. Well done. Good man. Heather, these were the dogs that, skins that Dad's actually kept over the years, and this is the dog that actually killed all those sheep back, years ago. And Dad kept them, and for some reason, I don't know, but they've been very, very handy to show people what they actually looked like.
Marg sometimes shares her dog trapping skills with other farmers. But her real passion couldn't be a greater contrast.
I love teaching and I love floral art. Floral art is my passion. I also love embroidery, craft. I'll have a go at anything.
Back in town, I've discovered the locals have transformed the old schoolhouse into an arts hub. And volunteers like Marg have come to help with a new project called the Rainbow Innovation Centre. It aims to bring people with all kinds of abilities together.
That looks groovy.
You like that?
Oh, this is the sun.
Yeah, top of the landscape.
Can I break that?
Artist Belinda Eckerman heads the centre, and she's invited me to join in.
We're creating a sun on a board to go into the sensory garden.
Belinda worked with a charity called Where There's a Will to get locals to paint cricket bats and then auctioned them. They raised $11,000 for the centre.
What a fantastic idea.
I just want all that money to go back in towards people with disabilities to help them so that we could focus on their fantastic abilities that they've got. Here's another bit. And it's just bringing people out as well and having a go and that's something different.
Thank you very much.
There's just lots of activities to choose from.
And you probably make some good friends too, do you?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think it says about this town and this community?
Oh, look, this town is amazing and they're always there to help and support each other and it's just a very caring community.
The aim of this sensory garden is to create a safe and peaceful place for everyone. Just like the people here, it's practical, inclusive and welcoming.
There's something distinctive and gutsy about the Mallee and its people that gets under your skin. Sure, it can be tough going out here, but I can see now why the love for the Mallee runs so deep. And I leave with nothing but admiration for the gutsy resolve to pass that on and make it work for the next generation.
What we're doing is actually creating a better place for our communities that the kids want to come back to. Without that, there's no future for small communities that are isolated.
It is a harsh place, but there's great things that happen out here.
I think there's a Mallee spirit. I really think people have a spirit to live here. Have to be a special type of person, I think, and it gets into your blood.
Next time, Backroads heads to Outback Queensland, where guest presenter Christy O'Brien discovers a land of extremes.
You're more distant, you have lesser resources, you have lesser opportunities.
It's a place where Mother Nature makes you earn your keep.
It was a cyclone over land and it created havoc.
But the Cloncurry locals don't stay down for long.
Go hard and, yeah, get on a wild buck jumper.